Okay, hello, greetings and welcome. Alright, so this video is on one of Wing Chun's hidden secrets. There's an exercise in Wing Chun that is a power stretch, and what it does is it activates biotensecurity, stimulates Jin, vital energy in the body. It opens up the energy system, it expands the mental body. It produces all the conditions for basic fundamental internal training to take place. And it's hidden in this little stretch. And so I want to pinpoint this, go through how to do it, why it's done, what are the side effects of it, and how to carry it through the rest of your Wing Chun. You do this one little movement correctly, you'll change your Wing Chun structure completely. And it's one of the little keys to mastering Wing Chun. Okay, so any of you who have followed any of my videos, there's a video called Building the Ball, and this is where we vital breathe and learn how to transfer consciousness and load from muscle tension to fascia tension to activate the biotensecurity. If you do that exercise first, it'll put this exercise on steroids, amplify it, make it far better. All right, start vital breathing. So the vital breathing exercise, you do the building the ball, and you'll figure this one out. You'll feel the vitality of your body. You'll naturally relax into the elasticity of your body. Practice that video first, and then come back to this one if you want to maximize the benefits of this video. All right, after a few minutes of vital breathing, you're breathing through the pores, relaxing the muscles, opening the joints, and you're in that feeling of life force. What I want you to do is to put both hands facing each other. Let the elbows drop. Never do this exercise with flared elbows. Drop the elbows, and what this does is it pulls the shoulder down. If the elbow flares and you're trying to power stretch, you're disconnecting your shoulder. Elbow down, it rolls the shoulder in and under and ground, gives you ground path. Now put your mind on a point in the distance. Very important. Stretch the mental body out. Stretch the yi to the distance. Here I've got about a meter or so to that curtain. So this is what I've got, this is what I'll do. And I'll tuck my elbows in and stretch my mind to that point. Next thing I want you to do is stretch your feeling of your body to that point. So all the feeling of pushing the joints open, I want you to push them all the way out to that point. So push your fingers open, stretch to the point. Push your wrist open, stretch to that point. Elbows, stretch. Shoulders, stretch. Drop the hips, stretch the spine. Pull the hips open, pull the knees open, pull the toes open. So you're almost about to hop off the ground because you're pulling everything to that point in the distance. Now for 10 seconds, I want you to power stretch. Just stretch everything open as hard as you can and push, 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 push towards that point. Remember to spiral the elbows in. After 10 seconds, I want you to pull the joints open. Now when you pull the joints open, if I was to grab something and pull, it's a different group of muscles to push. So I want you to grab, pull, same muscles, pull the joints open. Now for 10 seconds, pull the wrists open, pull the fingers open, pull the shoulders, keep the elbows rolled in, pull the spine open, pull all the joints to the ground. Pull, 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 pull. For 10 seconds. At the end of that 10 seconds, relax, vital breathe. Now as you vital breathe, you go on to the same feeling as building a ball and just relax this pushing, pulling around your joints. Okay. Take 1 minute to recover. Just keep vital breathing for 1 minute. Shake off any tension you've got in your joints. When you do such a strong power stretch, there's several things that happen. The first thing is there's a transfer. You can't contract muscle and power stretch at the same time. It's a pure activation of your tendons, ligaments, fascia, the biotensecurity of your body. Power stretching is one of the key movements I use in teaching Qigong. When you teach a person to power stretch, they feel Qi very quickly. Vital energy becomes very, very obvious. Because the moment you do a power stretch, you release huge amounts of tension that's locked in contraction, and as you stretch, it releases, and you go, oh, there's a magnetic fluid between my hands. What is that? This is energy released out of the power stretch. Now do this for a few rounds, and then once you've done a few rounds, go through some basic Wing Chun movements from your Silam Tao form. So maybe the side slash and the inside deflection block. So what I want you to do is do a power stretch, not directly forward, but a little bit that direction, or slightly across. Don't need to pull this hand up, just produce unnecessary tension in your shoulder. Just let your other hand flop to the side. Stretch, drop the hip, stretch the spine, and throw. You might come back, so through the inside line, round stretch, and throw. Power stretch, and throw. Power stretch out that way, and throw. Do a few throwing actions. Shake your arms off. Do both arms. They don't have to be that action. It's just a movement I like from the Jump Cue form, as in Silam Tao form. You can do any throwing action you want from whatever movement you want. Do about 9 or so of those throws on each arm, and then shake off. Now go back into your power stretch again. 10 seconds. Push out as hard as you can. Remember the rules. The mental body must extend. The feeling body must extend. And the physical joints must extend. So stretch the joints open, stretch the feelings out, stretch the mind out, and focus on a point in the distance. 10 seconds. Now in this 10 seconds, I want you to give 100% effort, everything you have. All your power has to extend out for that 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, switch from electric, pushing, magnetic, pulling. Pull the joints open. Pull, 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 pull. And as you pull, go through each of the joints, the spine, the hip, the knees, ankles, the toes. Get everything pulled open. 10 more seconds. As soon as you finish, go to vital breathing. Just whole body pore breathing, relaxing. Again, your magnetic fluid quality feeling will have amplified. Once you've done that, pick another movement. So you might you might be doing up and doing one of these types of movements. Doesn't matter, whichever one you want. Just pick another power stretch and throw, and do a throwing action inside that particular movement. Doesn't matter. Pick one combination and cycle the combination 9 times, left and right. Shake off, and then repeat. Go back to your power stretch. Power stretch out, 10 or so seconds. Reverse pull power stretch, 10 or so seconds. Vital breathe, and then do some throwing. Each time you do the throwing, pick a different angle. So you might be, oh, I want to cut down this way, I want to, you may want to circle and do some spinning actions. Up to you. Just change it up every time. After you've done these 9 sets of electric power stretch, mind out, feeling out, body open and stretched, and then grab that point with your mind, pull it towards you. Everything connects to your core. You expand from the core and you pull to the core. Your center of mass is your center of power. Always remember that. Center of mass, center of power. You drop your center of mass and you have power. It comes from here. Force is mass times acceleration. When you drop your mass, you create a stretch, and through that stretch you can move your mass through the stretch and accelerate it very fast. Wing Chun is fundamentally a throwing art. So it throws the techniques. The Fuchs out throws the technique. Everything is a throwing action, controlled by vibrating the center of gravity. And sinking into the stretch, it creates a line. You just hit the piano wire and your mass accelerates out. That's your basics of Wing Chun. Your body's a complex series of springs, and then you just ting the springs, your body weight vibrates along the lines. We have lines of power. Every school of Wing Chun defines different lines of power depending on the tradition, the way they think. Okay, so you've done your vital breathing, building the ball to start with. You feel the magnetic fluid. So this puts your mind in the potential state where you can transfer force from muscle tension to fascia tension. Electric power stretch, you extend the three dantians out. Upper dantian mind, middle dantian feeling, lower dantian body mechanics. Everything electrically power stretches, pushes open. 10 seconds later, magnetically pull that point towards you. Pull everything to your core, stretch to your core. 10 more seconds, vital breathe. make a note. Okay, how much difference was there in the feeling? Do your Wing Chun throwing exercises, whichever exercises you want to do, and then loosen, shaking, use some common sense loosening exercises just to shake the tension off. Repeat 9 rounds. Once you've completed 9 rounds, your body is in a very open state. That means that the energy is flowing more clearly, the movements, your body's more connected, your mass is able to vibrate through those power lines more clearly. Your next step is to define your power lines. What are the lines of power? So on the first exercise, we threw from, where was it, from there to there, or we could be going from Lan Sao out. And this power line travels along the outside edge through the back, and it's like a big circle. So you stretch the back and you generate the power. So it's a back power line. The return movement is the inside power line. It comes through here. So from here, it's a pulling action, and it uses the inside edge and spins into your core. Define your power lines very, very, very clearly. Then the next time you go to do these exercises, every time you do a throwing action, you use the power line. Every time you do a power stretch, magnetic or electric, define the power line and stretch the power line. Now we want to do these power stretches inside of the context of where you want power to arise. Wing Chun is a center line system. The main power stretch is up the center line. So here we go, okay, if I want to have power in this throw, I've got to go electric that direction, magnetic that direction, release to throw. Electric that direction, magnetic that direction, release to throw. If I want to go Lan Sao to here, to jump, I do stretch and then throw. Stretch and throw. Stretch and throw. You'll notice I'm using vibrating power on the end of the movement. So if I throw this way, if you look at the tips of my fingers, they're vibrating. Why do they vibrate? Because I lengthen and stretch them out. I send my mind out, I send my feeling out. And if I have my hand normal like that and then I stretch it, it starts to vibrate. This is called Bilgi vibrating power. Now vibrating power is created by lengthening and extending the joints like a piano wire at a certain point of tension, so the energy starts to vibrate. You train this by, I don't have a wall here in shot, but let's say if this was a wall, I would press my fingers and I would stretch my body weight off my fingers and I'd shoot myself off the wall. And that piano wire effect of lengthening the joints and stretching and then shooting myself away from the wall means my 120 kilos is moving through my fingertips and it's strengthening that piano wire of the stretch. And you basically transfer load onto your fingers and then stretch and fire yourself. Then you put a big chest pad on your training partner, you touch their base, you stretch, you load the trampoline in your body, and then boom, vibrate your body weight out through their base, up and out, and you bounce them across the room, like in the double Popeye techniques, but you just do it through your fingers. Make sure you've got a heavy pad there so you don't pepper their chest with black bruises and injure them. You shoot them across the room. So this vibrating power you train from day one of training Wing Chun. At the end of the movement, you do a power stretch. So you throw out, power stretch out, and get the vibrating power. Now, if I'm holding tension, it won't vibrate. It will collect tension. I've got to get my mind out, my feeling out, my body joints open out for that phenomenon to take place. If there's any contraction, what happens? Your mind comes in, your feeling comes in, your body contracts. It's opposite for internal training. Internal training requires biotensecurity to be activated, so you're loose and elastic inside your body, so that when you throw a technique out, you can vibrate your mass. Your mass has to move through the piano wire like an earthquake moves energy through the ripple of the ocean. It's very invisible until it hits land resistance, and you've got a huge tsunami, a big wave of power and energy there. You've got to create the same phenomenon inside your body. This is 1/3 mechanical, 1/3 cultivating very specific feelings, and 1/3 cultivating very specific states of mind, and they're all expanded and out. So this builds your vibrational power gets produced by this power stretch. So this power stretch is just an introductory stretch. You want to do that power stretch on every single movement, beginning of the form, glance out. Just put one hand there, power stretch, power stretch, power stretch. Electric line, pull the joints open, magnetic line, and then vital breathe, and then throwing. And so forth. Go through every movement. Follow the same procedure. Electric power stretch, magnetic power stretch, throw, loosen, vital breathe in between each one of those to increase the activation of biotensecurity. So if you haven't done the Building the Ball Qigong video, jump on that. I've got it on YouTube, a couple of them. I've got it on all my Vimeo channels. Every one of them is part of the basic framework, whether I'm teaching hermetics, or I'm teaching Qigong, or I'm teaching Tai Chi, or teaching Wing Chun. You start with activating biotensecurity. These power stretches do more than just transfer load from muscle tension to fascia tension. They increase the space of the radiance of your life force. This is important. When your mental body is extending out and you're stretching your feeling out and you're power stretching your joints open, energy is let out of the house. You start to radiate. This primal energy builds. Now, where you have your attention inside of this process, I'm speaking quietly because it's early hours of the morning. I don't want to disturb my neighbours. Where you put your attention is where the energy accumulates. So if you're very much on the power stretch, the energy will accumulate in the fascia. You'll build strong fascia, and you do more training where a person puts heavy load, you absorb the load into the fascia, and you spring them off and you fire them. If it's on the feeling, you're just inside the astral feeling, and I've got videos to astrally breathe and how to cultivate the concept of chi. Chi and astral is an interchangeable word. Then that's what builds. You put the force onto the astral feeling and you train it astrally. If you're training mind force, it's all these exercises. Someone does Silam Tao, they stretch their mind to a point on the wall and they stretch their mind, they stretch their feeling, they stretch their body, and they build mental force. So when someone pushes on you, release your attachment to space, create a big space, absorb them through the body, through the feeling, into the mind, and relax them into your mind to build mind force. So this energy is going to start bridging between the physical body, between the feeling body, and the mental space. Your mental space is what regulates balance within yourself and the other person. So if you want to disrupt their balance, touch the base, pull back, and keep the energy high. If you want to touch their astral body, touch the base, relax into the fluidity of their body. Tai Chi focuses on this skill. If you want to touch their tension and mechanically manipulate them, touch the base and stretch through them. Put your stretch through them and you can control them through their tension. So these different principles, and this is the same right across all internal martial arts. Anything that says it's not the same is basically using a less efficient method. There's basic physics of biotensecurity activation, moving away from muscle tension. Everybody has the same life force. There's efficient ways of cultivating life force and inefficient ways. There's chi. The life force feels patterns and produces types of chi. You put a word to describe the chi: fire chi, water chi, air chi, etc., and you have hundreds and hundreds of words you put next to the word chi to give a description of the personality, what that chi is. Okay, so then you have the mental, the mind. You absorb into the mind, play with the balance of the mind, play with the person's mental relationship to their feeling in their body, and work on these three levels. There's two more levels after that. One is called Ruji, or Akasha. Now, the Akasha is working on the empty space underneath the centers of gravity of the mind, the astral, and the physical, the three dantians, the three centers. And then light is the spirit, or the essence of mind. It's not just the mental body spirit, it's underlying non-dual light of the mind, the Shenming. That part of you that's in resonance with everything else. It's omnipresent field of consciousness that recognizes everything as a part of you and an extension of you, and you're an extension of it. When you work from that level, you require a lot of meditation. This is the primary goal in hermetics. So if you look at my hermetics channel, I go into detail on that, or the book on hermetics which I've written, it's available on Amazon. Have a look at that. It goes into detail on how to cultivate Shen Ming. I don't use those terms because I've written it for a hermetic audience. Basically the same thing. When you train a martial art, you're training your spirit. When you die, what's going to happen? Your physical body drops away. Your astral ego body, subject to form, breath, it drops away. Your spirit, your mind, floats. It separates from those two lower bodies. Where does it go? The basic laws of physics say like's going to attract like. It'll move to a vibrationally matched state. So if you hold a lot of negativity in your thinking and your feeling in your life, that negativity is the center of gravity of your own consciousness. Your mind will get sucked into what some people call a hell realm. If you cultivate equanimity, you cultivate light, you cultivate purity, you have ethics, you have morals, the center of gravity of your mind has this higher frequency. Guess what? As soon as you die, boom, you move up to the high frequency. And beings who are on that same frequency, that may have been friends in this incarnation or past incarnations, are going to be there with you when you pass away. And they'll move with you up to that like frequency, that center of gravity of consciousness that you've cultivated throughout your life. So Wing Chun is a spiritual cultivation exercise. Why praying thrice to Buddha? Why do they call it that? What does Buddha mean? It means the enlightened mind. Praying to Buddha, you're awakening your enlightened mind. You're not praying to something external. You're recognizing the divinity within you, and you're bringing yourself into resonance with it, and you're expressing your art through resonance with your highest. And you allow your highest to express through the art. So this relationship between spirituality and martial arts, it's connected. You can't separate that. If you try and separate it, you train very externally, very hard, you injure yourself. You can't train for life, and you're not going to be happy doing it, because it'll reach a point where, you go into decline. If you're activating biotensecurity, you're training internally. As you get older, your internal energies rise, your skills rise. You look at the old Tai Chi masters, they're 90 and they're still bouncing people across the park. A Wing Chun guy hits 50, you can see he's going down, 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 down in his skill. Because he's not training internally. Train internally. Evolution. We're pre-built to evolve. Every cell in our body is evolving. Every bacteria in our body is evolving. You choose a sport, you look at the sport, you want to be the best you can. You evolve yourself in it. Evolution is the natural part of how we think, how we feel, and how we act. So when you touch Wing Chun, you have an obligation to take it to the next level for the next generation. So when someone says, you're not allowed to change anything, you're not allowed to modify anything, ignore those types of people. They're ignorant and stupid. Literally. They're literally ignorant of universal laws, and they are stupid for saying such ignorant things. Take the art, make it better. It's your obligation to make it better. It's not your obligation to, no, I'm going to stand like this and do these stupid ways of moving that make no sense, when you can clearly look at it and go, I can do better than that. I can formulate a better way of training than that. If you can, prove it. Formulate a better way. Always make things better. Anything you touch, you have to improve it. It's the nature of the universe. Anything you touch else in your life, you want to become good at it. You want to improve it. You want to make it better, intellectually, emotionally, and physically. You want to raise all those standards up higher and higher and higher for the next generation. So don't let traditional nonsense stop you from being the best that you can be. Never train someone else's art. Train your art. You have to master the art. You have to own the art. You have to be the creator, the originator of new aspects of the art, and evolve it up for the benefit of the next generation. Why am I saying all this? Well, it's common sense. It's the nature of the universe. Evolution is the one word that describes why we live, why we're born, and why we reincarnate, is so that we can evolve towards our highest. Now, whatever you do in life, it has its same common sense in it, that you evolve whatever you do to the highest. There was a time when cultures had to respect traditions and had to uphold them and be upholders. That time's gone. If you don't evolve, you get left behind. And this is why MMA people kick the asses of everyone else so easily, is because of the way they think. They are evolving. They're constantly moving up. They're constantly adapting and adjusting how they think, how they feel, and how they act to win. Their mind is free. Their feeling, the heart is free, and their body is free to do what they want to do to improve themselves. Wing Chun is a fantastic art. It's 50% there. The other 50% is missing. So, what's missing? Well, something as simple as neutralizing a takedown, not locking the hip forward so you don't get taken down. A lot of basic things are missing, and people have started fixing that. For the last few decades, people have started fixing it. As soon as the first UFC video came out, people started fixing these problems. So for you, as a Wing Chun practitioner or martial arts practitioner, even if you're a traditionalist, think like an MMA guy. Go. Think with a free mind. Think with a free heart. Think with a free body. And it's only when you're in that expanded state of consciousness of freedom that you can evolve and make something better. Anyone who controls you is not letting you be free to grow. Let me say that again. Anybody who controls you says you should do this, you should do that, you should think like this, you should act like that. They are not there for you. They are there for themselves to control you. A real teacher, a genuine teacher, is going to give you complete freedom, is going to believe in what they do. And if they think they are offering you the best they can, so yeah, go test all the other martial arts. You'll be back, because what I do is the best. A good teacher is going to have that view. And it may be that good teacher truly has your interests at heart when they offer you advice like that. But if they say, oh, no, don't go do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you shouldn't mix teachings, oh, don't do that, you shouldn't do that, they're fraud. That person is just a straight, outright fraud. Because if they have confidence in what they're doing, they know they've got to give their student complete freedom to do what they want to do to grow and evolve and be the best they can be. Anyone who controls you is not helping you, they're helping themselves. So be very sensitive to people who try to control you. Don't let anyone control how you think, don't let anyone control how you feel, and don't let anyone control your physical environment. A master never does that. Only a slave submits. A master is master of their thinking, their feeling, their action. And this is why I'm saying evolve, 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 evolve. Be free in your thinking, be free in your feeling, be free in your body. Okay, thank you for your time, and good luck with your path, and see you on the next video.